What's up, guys? Okay, we're back for another episode, and it seems like we're starting to get more content out, right? So, today's episode, we're going to concentrate on, let's call this a 325iS studio. And why I want to call it a studio, it's got the studio look. This is our prepe, and we've got Evo 1, Evo 1, Evo 2 in here. So, brilliant red, Evo 1, diamond black, Evo 1, and brilliant red, Evo 2. This is the HP2 car. So, what we're gonna do today is I know I do a lot of shots with body and paint, a lot of content with body and paint, but I want to try and emphasize on how much it actually takes to get to these points here, right? And when I talk about these points, I'll explain to you later in the video at what stage we are in and how long it's taken us to get to these three cars here. So let's start off quickly with let me start off with this guy. Where are you? One time. So this guy was a fairly decent guy. It was involved in a prank. It took us a while to get bodywork to where we want to. We got the car, we got it lined up to a certain point, and then we started relaxing the car. You'll see here that the bonnet is actually flexing. We had to take the hinges off here, so we'll get the hinges back on. We just wanted to get our primer surfaced on it, and then we'll get the hinges back on. So you'll see here that we're not 110% aligned with regards to certain aspects, like maybe just on the bonnet side there and over here, right? But the rest of the cars are all aligned. So they're in its stage now. And I'm going to go through some of the gappings with you, some of the issues that we pick up on these cars here. And there's going to be another episode where I'm actually going to do a possibility of, I'm going to call it a slight modification on the cars, right? So the modification is going to come in on a suspension point. It's going to come in on the shock towers and chassis points, and elsewhere on the cars, like we found on the motors and that. And I said on the last video that we found a couple of improvement points where we could make an improvement on without changing the physical dimensions of the vehicle. So we're going to go through that in the next coming videos, right? And I think this is, I'm actually going to open up a debate session with the OEM, let's call it full OEM, with the slightly modified upgrade to it, right? And it's going to be a bit controversial, but I also want to emphasize, and I want to point out the importance of the modified aspect to the OEM side of things. So anyway, that's now for a couple of videos ahead, and I need to get to that because I want to get my ducks in a row, because in this past few weeks, there's a good few things that we found out on the cars, being on the body, being on suspensions, that I would like to share the knowledge with the viewers, right? With future builders, guys that's building at home, and just for guys that want general knowledge on it. Okay, so on the Evo 2, this is the brilliant red Evo 2 that we went through, right? Let's just go through the bodywork on it. This here is what we call our second stage of primer, basically, right? So we've got 3 stages of primers, of which we try and keep it to our IP, meaning it's a little bit different as to how people do things, but this is something that I'm trying out with PPG, meaning that I proposed to PPG Global Auto, so Global Auto Coatings, right, who handles our PPG material. We've sat down and I've proposed a couple of things. They came back to me with their aspects of things, with their information, with their knowledge, with their experiences, and we've been putting this together, right? But ultimately, I think this IP actually belongs to Ratical. And with respect, they also know that as well, and we want to try and keep it as that. So I'm going to call it our second stage of primer. This stage of primer here, we're at a point where we haven't blocked the cars down, and this is why I wanted to do this video. We haven't blocked the cars down, and we haven't progressed through, because we've actually left the cars. I think this is day number 3 now, and we chose today's Friday, so we chose to leave it day number 3 on Friday, day number 4 Saturday, day number 5 Sunday, and to start blocking those cars on Monday. So we give it basically 5 days worth of not maturing, but basically you're giving the primers time to do what it's supposed to do. You're giving time. So a lot of guys say they want it to what? A lot of guys will say they want it to cure. It's not so much as curing. right? You actually want to give the primer as much time as possible, but obviously when you're running a business, you've got to find that space of time to give, because you also need to get these cars rolling, because there's a chain behind it basically. So we've given it 5 days for the primer basically to do what the primer has to do, right? So if it has to breathe, if it has to, if the solvents have to start popping out, if it wants to start shrinking, we're trying to give it that time to do that now. So the reason why we do that is that when we do start applying our third coat or blocking down, we can rough out, or we can not rough out. We can finesse those issues that if we had to start blocking on day one, for example, or the next day, even after the boot, if we had to start blocking, we would have blocked down on that. And maybe 2, 3, 4 days or 5 days after that, we would have had sinkage, solvent release, or whatever it is coming through that. And we would have thought, listen, we're on a good preparation style, we're on a good preparation point, we're ready for our final primer, and we would have missed those imperfections. Or we would have picked them up in our final primer, or maybe even after that. So we're choosing to do it this way. And we're finding out that it's beneficial for the cars for later on. So if I can let this primer sit on for another week or 2 weeks, right, it will actually be more beneficial for the owners and the cars going forward later. So on our second coat of primer, I want to show you guys how the cars look and the uniformity of them. So a lot of people come to us and they'll say, Sanjay, but listen, you've got so many cars here, right? How do you give every single car the same attention? How do you keep up to, or try and keep up to a standard with every single car? It is freaking hard, right? And this is why it takes time and time and time and time. I think on the red car, that's the red car with the gold wheel. I mean, that car has been fairly done for the past 3 weeks now. And I've been talking to the customer, and he's very patient. There's actually no issues. He's just excited to get his car. And we'll talk and we'll say, hey, listen, I think I'm going to be ready for paint next week. And next week comes and you find a couple of issues, but you get delayed and delayed and delayed. And it's not delayed because you're busy with other work. It's delayed because you find issues on the car. And before furthering that process, you want to try and get to them and nail them down in those processes. So this customer has been waiting patiently, and they're all actually waiting patiently. They're all excited for their cars. And they're not excited not so much for even the drive of the cars, right? I think they're more excited to see the paint product coming out. And then obviously they want to enjoy the restoration process from there. Okay, enough of that. So we want to go through the lines. These spots that you find on here now, these are pinhole spots here. So we've got our filler. It's a light filler that we come and we chose to do it now. Just so, like here, for example, this was splitting through the gun, and your micro pops that occur. We wanted to do it now so it can cure with the primer as well. So when we block down, it should be at the same curing point. I know the textures are very, very close. So when we sand down and we block down, we have same texture as, this will be the same texture as what we're trying to put in there. So we should get it down fairly smooth and block it down. Again, we want a nice smooth surface. We don't want a flat surface. We don't want glass finish here. We want a smooth surface so we don't really want the orange peel on here, because if we have orange peel on here, we might be able to block it down in our final primer stages, and then it's just a knock-on effect from there, right? So we want to get this here nice and smooth. We want to get our final primer down nice and smooth, and then we can start playing with our orange peel effect from not even on the base coat, more on the clear coat side. So let's go through here quickly. Look at the car, look at the lines, right? We're just going to go through the side of the cars. I think the lighting is good in the shop here. Lighting is good in the shop, right? Where you can actually see, you can actually check both lines, right? Side to side. There's a couple of shadows on the car that looks like a dent, but it's actually a shadow and not a dent. So we've got the Evo 2 basically in prep work. We're going to start blocking them by next week. I think we really got the body dialed in. Well, we're still dialing it in. I can't say we really got it dialed in. We got it dialed in, or we're getting it dialed in. Sorry. This guy here, we had to do a full fabrication basically on the backboard. Right, so this whole backboard came up. We had to make up certain sections of it because our backboard that we replaced in here was rusted. So we done partial fabrication on this one here, and it looks good. This one here, we had to do a fabrication on it, where I did put up a quick video of us. This here had 6x9 cutouts, and it had a whole cutout on the side here. And we had to do full fabrication basically into this indent. So you'll still see we've got a little bit of a roughage weld on here, but it's actually a nice, clean, smooth finish over where the 6x9 cutouts were, in the center where the subwoofer was coming through, and so on like that. I've still got to do just on the inside of the doors. I've got to prep that up quickly, right? And we're going to leave that for our last prep. I've still got to pull out the factory sound deadening on all of them, and then we're just going to do a clean up on there, and then I'll do a last seal of that. So that's a couple of the teething issues that we're having, or not teething issues, that's a couple of the issues we're having in our processes, where we are dealing with staff, we are dealing with humans here. People forget, we make mistakes. We are very limited on our amount of blockers because we try to follow with one process and one process only, and we find that the more people we have in there, the more room there is for issues. So so yeah, so again, coming out to this guy here, same story. This video is basically just to show you solution. I don't know if you're gonna come through, just give us lines on this guy here, and then I just want to mention something about our brilliant red Evo 1. So coming down to our Evo 1, this is the brilliant red Evo 1. This car came in with, is a full metal car basically, right? And somehow, some way, I managed to find aluminum bonnet, managed to find aluminum fenders, and managed to find aluminum doors. So it was a bit of a hunt, but somehow on this guy here, things just came into play, right? And we've got our full aluminum Evo 1. So I would have loved to have done it on this guy here, but I just can't find everything. And I don't really want to go with maybe just aluminum doors and metal fenders or vice versa and so on like that. I would like to, if we do something like that, I would like to go full aluminum on the car. But this car is basically getting built up as a full LE car. So here we picked up a lot of issues on this car, right? Because it's a full LE car, we picked up a lot of issues on the fenders. The fenders had a lot of work done to them on the side here, and it's aluminum. You can't just come and fill. You can't lead fill on aluminum. So we've had to aluminum weld build up, grind down. We have had to redo those fenders. Those fenders took us quite a bit of time to do, and we got the lining quite nice up onto here. The bonnet as well. But the fenders were more of a headache on this car than anything else. Doors weren't too bad. We picked up issues here on the doors, but they were fairly good doors, but they are a little bit out of shape. So they were a little bit out of shape. So I picked up an issue on this door here. This door is basically bent out, right? So it started affecting the time. Basically, you can say the dimensions basically across the board. So once you bulge or sink in a certain place, it affects it right through. And we got them lined up well, and we'll do our final lining up basically in this process here as well. So we don't want to do any repairs. We want to do minor repairs and touch-ups at this phase and concentrate basically more on, I think we've got our waves out here, right? So we want to concentrate more on getting our production lines out, getting our pinholes out, getting our minor imperfections out. And we're going to start running through our papers, our production papers now, getting those production lines out, getting these marks out, getting the spots out, getting our work smooth out, I would say. That's what I would call it. And I think, yeah, look, we are going to be doing a couple of videos basically on our fabrication side. We found a lot of, there's quite a few breakthroughs basically on our fabrication side and on our production side, which we're going to make available to the public very soon. Right? So when I say make available, I'm talking battery trays, I'm talking front battery trays, floorboards, the pedals that's forever rusting and rotting up. We've actually had them made up, and we will have production ready in about 2 months time. So that's going to be out for the public. So it's going to make your life easier. So we've thought about every single process of it, even the cutting out process of how we're going to supply it out to you to make your life easier, meaning that you will be able to fit it in a certain way, spot welded. You don't have to really stitch the whole car up. And there's a lot of thought process gone into this, right? And I hope that it's not appreciated, but I hope that people appreciate the thought gone behind it. Not appreciated. I hope people appreciate the thought gone behind the thought process of a general or layman installing it. That's how it will become. So you can basically buy the part, go to your pedal beater, let him cut out where it needs to cut out, fit in, Bob's your uncle. So it's all in process and soon into production. Guys, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think on the last video. And I hope to start getting content out to you guys soon. Okay, cheers guys.